Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Who's He at the Movies. And as you can tell, this is a little bit different because today I'm joined by a special guest. It's Joanne Alexander, an old friend of the show. Welcome back, Joanne.
Hi Phil, how's it going?
It's going fine, thank you, mate. It's going very, very well. How's things over in Ireland? Or
Oh,
I should say Northern Ireland. Let's get
oh,
it
it
right.
doesn't bother to me. We're lucky over here. We can say both. We can call ourselves Irish or British or whatever we feel like. Yeah, really busy. I've been making so many bloody costumes. Well, probably this year has just been hectic because there's been so much on my table to make. Most recent one being Art the Clown for my brother Graham.
Oh,
For somebody,
yes.
yeah, for somebody who's not a horror fan of that, that gore porn that
Yes.
Art the Clown would be. It's been really difficult. So he'll play a bit of the film for me and I go, and we'll sit and watch it. And he's maybe slaughtering a family in the house at Christmas. I'm going, oh yeah, I can see his boots. And you see the way there's the angle of his teeth there and the way the hat sits. So it's been pretty horrific actually trying to sort of take away from, oh my gosh, I'm watching all this absolutely dreadful stuff to what does the costume actually look like at this? How much blood do I need to cover
How
him in
much
at
you
this
need? Yeah,
point?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been busy.
Well, I mean, actually, you mentioned sort of doing the cosplay and stuff there because this is how we arrived at covering the film we're going to cover today, which is because we haven't actually announced it yet. It's the Bride of Frankenstein from
Yes.
1935. Now, before we sort of get into it, the reason this sort of came about because you've done a sort of cosplay as the bride.
I have indeed. Yep. I actually have two versions of it. I have the classic bride, and wanted to make it as accurate as possible. So I learned how to sew and drape actually with a pre-marked bed sheet.
Ah, okay.
It was hard going,
Is that hard
but
going? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was. I now understand when my friend who is professional in these things has always said to me, buy good quality fabric. She's always given off to me when I haven't done that because a pre-marked
Right.
bed sheet was not a great thing to use.
Ah,
And so I made her redhead, like the actual actress had been.
yes.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize that she was actually
Me
a redhead.
neither. Me
No.
neither, actually. I know people can tell that you're a redhead. People can't tell anymore that I used to be a
Yeah,
redhead.
you've got the ginge blood in you,
I've got
but
the ginger
still.
blood, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had absolutely no idea that Elsa Lanchester was a redhead.
Yeah, no,
No
me neither
idea.
until I started to research. And it is one of those things that when you go out dressed as her, people are a wee bit confused because of the red head. And I made that wig for her too, and the big puffy up bit. I was nearly going to wear it tonight, but I reckon it would sit outside the screen
It probably
slightly.
would have done,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
thought, just stick to my own hair. And then I do another version of her, sort of like a casual version if she had been knocking about in 2025, and she's got a biker jacket on, which I have different Bride of Frankenstein type things on it, and
Oh,
she
brilliant.
got leather style trousers, the big goth boots, still got the hair, but she has a cigarette and thing on her shoulder, and there's all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, and a Walkman for some reason because I found it in my room space, so I thought, right, that's coming out, gonna
Actually,
use it for that.
what was it? Was it the old-fashioned proper Walkman headphones as well?
Uh-huh, yep.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so she's got that too. That's worth a fortune now. Those things are,
Oh no, they are, aren't they? Yeah, the
yeah.
old classic Sony Walkmans. Crikey,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they cost an absolute bloody arm and a leg now. But
I know.
yeah, one thing I'd learned because I was looking into how they got the look for the bride back in the day, and they actually used like it was wire,
Yep, wire
wasn't it?
cage.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
wire cage they put, and they sort of mapped her hair, and they added appliances into it as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they put different various hair pieces in. Obviously, the white stripes that they'd put in too. But
Yeah,
it's her hair dependent because whenever I made her wig, I had used wigs that I already had. And you look at the various promo shots, and the unfortunate thing about promo shots is they're often different from the film. So
yeah.
I was sitting watching the movie because even though I'd done the character, I'd only sort of been watching bits and pieces of it. So because you'd said to me, right, let's review it, I probably sat down the other day to watch it and thought, oh, if I had watched this like I should have been doing it when I was making it, I'd have made the wig slightly differently because her hair is shorter in the film than it is in the promo shots. That
Yeah.
lovely sideways one where her hair is out the side and out the back. It's actually much longer than it physically is in the movie.
Yes, I've noticed that. I've also noticed sort of like the hair change as well because in some of the I don't know if it's accurate in the movie or the promo shots, her hair looks quite wiry, and
Yes.
then some others it doesn't. It looks quite sort of more sort of like sort of silky and sort of brushed back. But in some parts it looks very very wiry, sort of almost sort of it's about to go out of control at
Mm-hmm.
any moment.
Yeah, it's all crimped and things, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. but it's a striking look. It really is, and
Oh,
it's
she's
been used
brilliant.
so many in so many other things. Even like um, in the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, if they got a horror up Marge Simpson, she gets that hairstyle, doesn't she?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's one of, and I do wonder now, did they think about that when they're making Marge? You know, when the first design Marge, even
yeah,
though her hair's blue, did they think, well, that's a very Bride of Frankenstein type
yes,
design, you know, with the big peak. And even I see now she's in a thing called Creature Commandos, which is a James Gunn DC animated
that's
series.
right. Yes,
Yeah, I've got the parts for that bride as well, and that'll be a black wig. But I mean, to take her then into a sort of an up to date comic book version, she's just fantastic in it.
yeah.
There's another great series of books. I'm sorry, I've gone off on a complete
No, that's
tangent,
all right.
but
Go
while
for it. Go for it.
it's in my head, there's a great series of books about the bride. She decides that she's going to have a quieter life. She's been around for a couple of hundred years or whatever, and she sets up a guest house in Whitby, and it's by Paul Maggs. The name spelled strange is M
It's
A
Paul Mars, isn't it?
Mars.
But
Yes,
it's spelt
yes,
Maggers, isn't it?
yes.
Yes.
Because I could never remember how to pronounce it. His, because I know he had written some Doctor Who stuff as well.
That's right. He
So
has. Yeah.
everything has to be always connected back to Doctor Who. Let's face it. And I'm on book two, and they're really really good.
Oh
So
right.
it's a different take on the bride.
So is it sort of like local people come stay with it, or is it other horror icons sort of pass through a
Yeah,
guest
well,
house?
I don't want to spoil it, but there's a special vampire that makes an appearance in book one. But her friend next door, who's also, I mean, you get the impression that the women are actually in their 60s. So the bride somehow is aged, which there's a slight confusion there. I'm not quite
Hmm.
sure why the bride has maybe aged at this point. But her friend next door, Elsie, she's a witch. Turns out she comes from witches, and you don't find that out till later on. So they start
Ah.
investigating things. I really don't want to spoil it too much, but different horror aspects come in, and there's some you can recognize some of the characters from other Universal horror movie type things, you know. So it's a really good range of books, but he's a very good writer. I hadn't written, or sorry, I hadn't read any of his stuff before.
No, I haven't actually, so I might have to look that up because it's the what you just described to me there is it's my favorite period of horror because I don't know if you're like me. I'm not a fan of the gore
No, torture porn.
torture porn stuff. I'm not a fan of that at all. My horror's got to be atmospheric or psychological, that kind, and that's why I love this like Bride of Frankenstein, that period of horror, which for me is like the golden age of horror.
It is. I mean, and I don't think maybe people understand as well. It's not just a horror movie. It is, as you say, it's psychological. There's delving into what really motivates people and how
Yeah,
far they're willing actually to park their morals just to get what it is that they need. But there's also a great element of sadness in it about the monster. There's
yeah.
parts, there's scenes within it, I think, that's quite painful to watch when he's with the old man that's out in the forest who lives on his own. And
I
he's,
know.
oh,
Yeah,
just that pains me that every time I watch that, but I think it's so sad.
yeah.
So, so sad.
Well, I think we'll go through that as we talk. But I say, I mean, are you a fan of this movie anyway? Because I mean, when was the first time you watched it?
Oh gosh, probably as a kid, I would say I would have watched it, probably been on TV on a Saturday afternoon or late at night. I hadn't actually seen it for a very long time. I had remembered parts of it, but not all of it. Definitely the scene with the old man and the
Yeah.
monster. But and then but on watching it again, I have a theory, but I don't know whether to give a theory now or hang on till later on because there is something within that movie. And it just dawned on me the other night. I had a eureka moment as I was just about
Oh,
to go to
right.
sleep.
Okay.
I thought, hang on here a
Hang
wee
on.
second. That wasn't explained.
Okay, well, but we'll come on to that. Well, I say I've known about this film for years because one of my books that I had when I was a kid, it was the Dennis Gifford's Pictorial History of Horror. And it was like a Bible for kids. I remember kids in the class at school, and this was in primary school. Um, so we're going back a few years now. This is like
Oh
the
yeah, I think I know
1970s.
this very book.
Yeah, and it's got Frankenstein's monster on the front, Karloff's Frankenstein
Uh-huh.
monster on the front. And it was somebody got it for birthday or Christmas, and everybody gathered around this kid and looking at all the pictures and everything. And that's where I first saw the Bride of Frankenstein was in this book. And then I got my own copy as well, and I've still got it now. I've had it for best part of
No.
like
Have you still
about
got that?
45 years. I've still got it. Yeah.
Oh
I
my
still refer
goodness.
to it now and again as well. Um, But I first saw the film, and amazingly, it wasn't on the BBC Two double horror feature used to have on Saturday nights. I was never allowed to stop and watch them. Very rarely was allowed to. But I first saw it. It was on a Halloween thing, and it was the. Do you remember on the BBC they did like I think it's like in the 90s they did like a Friday night horror thing. It was Doctor Terror's House of Horror,
Yes.
and it had the guy dressed up as the Goblin
Uh-huh.
thing. Yeah. Now that was I don't know if you know it's actually Guy Henry, the actor who went to play. Well, he did Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. They mapped Peter Cushing's face onto him.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
know who you mean now. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he played this Doctor Terror, but originally, a few years before, they did BBC Two did the whole night devoted to horror, and that's when the BBC gave a toss about horror, really. And his character's called a different name, but they resurrected him a few years later, this Doctor Terror thing, and they showed all these different films back to back with him just linking them, and one of them was Bride of Frankenstein. Now I'd always read that it was the greatest sequel ever made. And I can't dispute that. I think it's a wonderful film.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's amazing. It's
Considering James Whale didn't want to do a sequel, he
no,
really knocked it out of the park.
I know because he thought he got everything he could
Hmm.
out of Frankenstein. However, I mean, people haven't sort of read the book. That the Bride of Frankenstein, or the Bride, is actually part of that book, and it's a subplot that doesn't get mentioned. So, and that's how this film came about. And I mean, God bless. The thing is, though, the bride is only in it right at the very end.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ballsy move. Having
Yeah,
title, we're going to title the movie this, but she's not going to be there until about the last 15 minutes.
yeah. If that actually,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
yeah,
probably not even that right enough. It's all the way you're waiting. It's basically still to me Frankenstein's story. It's Frankenstein's loneliness and
yeah,
his desire to have somebody to call his own because he loses so much and he just wants his own.
yeah.
Well,
That's
not
right.
like it's all in life. You just
Yeah,
want your own wee person.
exactly. That's all he wants. He wants companionship and friendship and something to show him a bit of kindness, which nobody shows him at all during this
No,
film at all, do they? Apart from,
no.
as you say, apart from the blind hermit. But I mean, what I like about it, it picks up directly from Frankenstein, which was made 4 years previously. So the way it works it's almost like seamless. But the thing is, though, what I think is really tragic is the first time you see the monster, he straight up murders two people. You realise it's actually
Yes,
it's the parents of the girl he
I
drowned in the
know.
previous
It was
film.
like, oh shit.
I
Because you
know.
think it's a self-defense, and but I have to say, every woman who's ever won, I told you not to do that. I told
Yeah.
you not to do that. If they had been able to get home to their little peasant house afterwards, she would have given him such a bollock. And what did I tell you? I told you not to go down there. Yeah, no.
Oh dear.
I think maybe in the monster's defense, he kind of accidentally kills people.
Well, I think when he kills the sort of like the girl's father right at the beginning of this film, he holds his head under the water, he drowns him. He straight up kills him. I think he
With
does
an
the same.
oil watching for
I know
some
he said
reason.
what was an owl
That occurred to me. I'm like, oh, that's a bit weird.
but he literally just throws the woman down the pit as
Uh-huh.
well. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's done in pat, but to me, it's sort of like, no, you straight up murdered those two people, mate.
Yeah.
It's yeah. No
If you
wonder.
don't mind me cursing, it's like, fuck this, fuck that,
Yeah,
fuck this as well.
if there was another child, he would toss them down there as well. I think
I know.
actually, yeah, yeah. He wouldn't give a shit, did he? But I thought that was really that was quite wow. I've forgotten all about that bit actually. Now I know they did make a few cuts for this film because of the Hays Code. Um,
Yes, because even it was supposed to be Mary Shelley. Apparently, they made cuts because you could see her décolletage too much.
yes, precisely. Yeah, I
You know
know.
what a glorious décolletage it was too.
Do you know what? I like that bit at the beginning of the film. They use that with Shelley and Byron and her sort of like telling the next part of the story, and then
Hmm.
it just sort of segues into the end of or the beginning of this end of Frankenstein, beginning of this film, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, there's a bit of foreshadow on it as well, because there's the bit where she accidentally, because Byron's talking shite, because Byron always talks shite, I think.
Exactly,
I
yes.
think most people would have agreed back then. And she
Romantic
accidentally,
shite, yes.
exactly, he's so flamboyant and calm. But she accidentally, he's going in her ear, and she sticks herself with her needle. She's embroidering at the time, and Shelley's over helping her, and she goes like this, and Shelley's beside her, and it's very much how the bride moves later on in the movie when she's
Yes.
with Frankenstein and who's the other guy whose name I just think of him like Mistopheles. To me, he's the Mistopheles type character. He's
It's Dr. Septimus Pretorius.
that's it, Pretorius. Not
Pretorius, what a fantastic name.
I know. I thought I'm going to end up calling that man Optimus Prime if I'm not careful. That's the problem. But he's very much the Mistopheles to Frankenstein, saying, "Oh, give me your soul, and I can give you what you desire."
Yeah,
But she does
yeah.
her the way her I don't want to extend my arms too much because they're going to go off screen.
Off screen,
But
yeah.
yeah, she just the way she extends and holds herself at that point. I thought I recognized that movement actually later on
Actually,
in that scene.
now we're talking about that. Actually, it's almost like a dance
It
at
is.
the end, isn't it?
Uh huh.
It's sort of like the way she sort of leans like she's going all like that, leans back, and then it's sort of Frankenstein sort of, oh, come with me like that, and it takes over to the couch or chaise lounge. It should be really, shouldn't it? But yeah, it's very very sort of dance like, very well choreographed,
It
and I
is.
yeah.
It's a beautiful moment whenever you watch it. And her hissing, apparently, she based it on the swans that she's seen in the park.
Oh right,
But
that's excellent.
yeah, I watched the sort of a. It was quite an old making of and sort of behind the scene interviews with various people,
Yeah.
and there was the mention of that. Somebody said that they'd interviewed her, and she said she'd based her hiss on the swans in the park.
Because what I'd also love as well about it is her movements.
Yeah, so
It,
graceful.
it's well, it's not only that. It's when she first wakes up. It's her head movements are like like that
Yes.
jerky.
Yep. Like the
It's
WD-40 isn't quite distributed in
yeah,
her joints yet.
exactly. And it's almost sort of like a I could have put. It's like a nervous bird, just
Yes.
taking in the what's that? Taking in the surroundings, waiting, and then she can sense that the monster's coming down the steps behind her, which is really really sad because
Oh, it is.
he falls in love immediately, doesn't
Oh,
he?
he does. And she was kind of
Yeah,
like, well, I mean, it was one of those moments where I don't fancy yours much.
it was a bit, wasn't it?
Really, I don't fancy yours.
Yeah,
I'd much prefer this handsome Baron, what's his face here,
yeah.
compared to you, mate.
Oh dear, but now I do feel sorry for the monster in that. But again, the little time she has on screen, I think she makes such an impact with like screen and that hiss she does at the end when
Yes.
yeah when he said we belong dead, and she just hisses at him. I
It's like
thought
she's agreeing.
yeah, it is, isn't it? It
Uh-huh.
really
Which
is.
surprised me because I never picked that up before. But whenever she hisses at him and she half smiles, it's like, yeah, she does. She agrees with him. This is just as being a pointless exercise.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think it's I think it's fantastic. I really do. But obviously, we skip through loads of
I
the
know.
film.
The
Everything,
end.
the end.
Spoilers.
That's it. We skip right there. But I say, I mean, coming back to the monster, what I'd forgotten of is Boris Karloff, which is billed as Karloff
Yeah.
in this film as well, isn't he? He doesn't get a first name billing until it's just Karloff as the monster, which I've forgotten about. And I read that obviously they changed the makeup in this because he's been burnt in
Yeah.
because of the
He also
fire.
put a bit of weight on, apparently.
Well, no,
The four years had been quite good to him.
well, it wasn't only that, but apparently because they wanted him to speak in this film, and apparently Boris Karloff hated the fact that the monster spoke because he think it robbed of the performance. But going by the book, he learns to speak with it's the blind hermit who teaches him how to read and write and actually in the book he's quite a learned
He is. He's very
character.
intelligent and very
Yeah,
handsome as well.
yeah, that's right. So he didn't agree with it, but in the first film, he's quite a sunken face. His cheeks are very sunken. It's
Hmm.
because he wasn't wearing his dental plate.
Yes, I'd heard that he had that certain amount of
Yeah,
teeth that weren't there.
yeah. So of course he had to speak in this, so he had to put the plate back in again. So that's why he looks a bit fuller in the face.
Right.
So that's why. So I think maybe that's why. Yeah, but he's two of those. The monster does look very very different. Obviously they changed the makeup because he's been his hair singed and he's some of his fingers are like welded together, or they're melted together, aren't
Yes,
they?
which I
Yeah,
didn't notice actually until he was touching the Bride of Frankenstein later on, and I
yeah,
thought, oh, I can see his fingers are. I think it was because I was looking at his face so much.
yeah.
But I mean, going back to that hermit scene and the fact that he can't speak now, and the hermit teaches him, it's really like really bad Duolingo or people speaking to each other,
It
very
isn't
common
it? Yeah.
language, it's just, it's a bit like, I hate to say this, but when the English go away on holiday, it's like, chips, no.
And if you shout it, they understand you as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And you're thinking, oh my goodness.
Sorry, the Brits going abroad, we really are the worst, aren't we?
Oh, I hate that. Well, maybe not as bad as Frankenstein, right? Please don't tell me
Maybe
not
not,
to
maybe not. I
murder
hope we're
other
a little
people's
bit better
children.
than that.
But that's the other thing about the hermit. I love the fact that he and Frankenstein share a spliff. It's like smoke, oh
Smoke.
good, yep,
I
and they just
know.
pass it back and
I
forth to
know.
each other. And I thought these two boys are getting stoned here. No wonder they're having such a great time.
I know
They're
the
getting
drinking,
pissed and
bit
they're getting
pissed,
stoned
stoned as well. Why not?
and playing music.
He's having a whale of a time, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
brilliant
dear.
time.
The thing is, though, it's when the two hunters stumble
Oh,
across the.
bastards.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. One of them's John Carradine as well. Yes.
Did not recognize
Yeah.
him.
It's the skinny one. Is John Carradine. He doesn't get a credit in the film, which is unusual because he gets quite a sort of like a substantial speaking part because he's the one who recognises, oh, it's the monster, and has a bit of a fight with Boris Karloff. But yeah, it's sort of like a very, very young John Carradine, or Carradine, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
of course.
I feel so sorry for that point because the monster knows like the game's up.
Oh God, no! It's such a pity. I mean, he's just it's, you can't help but feel sorry for and for the hermit too as well
Yeah,
because I mean he loses his home and he loses his friend.
yeah. And you never find out what happens to him. They just drag him off,
No,
don't they?
you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and back to speech again. The accents throughout this movie are worth touching on because we
Okay.
have the Cockneys. The Cockney housekeeper.
Oh, was it Minnie? Yeah,
Yes,
Minnie.
and also the two people that are killed at the beginning, whose daughter he had killed previously. Obviously Hans and his very famously Scottish wife. And you're
She
thinking
was.
she's Scottish, and then some of the locals like were also Cockney as well. I imagined them to go knees up at some point.
Exactly. So you've got
The accent,
Hans and Morag, and you've got
yes,
Chaz and Dave as well. Sort of. Yeah.
it was horrendous. And then there's the BBC World Service, which is up in the castle. I just thought, my goodness, and nobody listens to the housekeeper.
No.
Everybody says you're talking shite. I'm not going to listen to a word you say. I'm not. She's not a likable character, but she's right every time.
I know. Do you know that there was a point in it? I just thought I wish the monster would just grab hold of her and just sort of shut her up because she was the comedy character of the film, wasn't she? Yeah, she was there
She
to give
was totally.
the light relief, wasn't she? But oh god, yeah, she was over hysterical all the time, wasn't she?
But nobody listened to her. It was just fingers around their ears, and it
Do
was
you know
la la
what?
la.
It reminded me of have you seen Alistair Sim's Scrooge? It's his housekeeper.
Yes.
It's a similar sort of performance, isn't it? It's all very sort of over the top and almost a sort of like lift up your skirts in horror kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's
I know. She screams continuously. She screams whenever, even when Franken or the Baron, because he's now Baron Frankenstein. It turns out
yeah,
he's alive. She has to scream in a moment. Of course, she screams when the monster's about, but you
yeah.
can't tell the difference in the screams.
No, you can't. No,
It's
it's
just absolutely horrendous. So if she ever drops anything in the kitchen or stubs her toe, she must scream exactly the same way.
got the boy cried wolf with her, isn't it? Nobody
I
pays
know,
us.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody believes her.
nobody cares
No,
anymore. That's it.
no.
But yeah, but those sort of films, they always had to have that character to try and undercut the like what in those days what they considered to be horror. You couldn't have an out and
Yeah.
out thing. But I think we talked about Doctor Pretorius,
Dr.
um,
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, played by again these actors named Ernest Thesiger.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah,
love him. He was so gloriously camp.
he was. Now, actually, he was in Scrooge. Actually, he was the Undertaker. Do you know the bit at the end where they're going through Scrooge's belongings? It's the ghost of Christmas Future,
Uh-huh.
and they're with the guy, and I thought, like the housekeeper's got his the drapes for around his bed. The other one's got the clothes Scrooge died in, And I think it was the Undertaker's come with what he's collected off the body as well to get a few like coins or whatever. And the old end, that's Ernest Thesiger as well. So
He was such a distinguished gentleman,
he
really
was.
within it. He's
I know.
evil, but
He is evil. He is. Oh God, he's so evil in this, isn't he? But
he's the
um,
devil, really, I think, in
he
it.
is. He is. It's not really alluded to that much, but he was Frankenstein's one of his previous teachers, and they don't really sort of dwell on that too
No,
much
I
in
did get
this,
that
do they?
impression right enough from it.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, who's worryingly married to a 17-year-old.
Yes. Played by a different actress in this film. Actually, she's played by Valerie Hobson in this. So I thought it was absolutely
Oh,
gorgeous.
yeah. She's only
Yeah.
17 in this movie.
That I feel like a dirty old man now,
I
but
know. Sorry, I feel like a dirty old woman because I thought, oh, you're lovely. But
yeah.
back then, but of course, 17 was equivalent of 37 because she does not look
She
like
does
she's
not
only
look seven.
17.
No, exactly. That's an excuse that many a person's use, but
For quiet alone moments, she's
yeah,
not 17.
no, she's not. But I thought, where have I heard that name before? And she played a Stella in David Lean's Great Expectations in 1949. So all these people went on to do
Yeah.
bigger and bigger and better things. Or also, bet this was great, but so they went to other things as well. Because usually they don't. I mean, poor old Colin Clive, he died 2 years later of alcoholism. So yeah, he was
See
not a
that?
well man when he was making this film, by all
No,
accounts.
he really wasn't.
No, no, but James Whale insisted on casting him because he had that panicky, like when he said in the first, it's alive," and this one he said,
Hmm.
"She's alive." He wanted that same manic hysteria in the
Yeah.
performance again. So
Once you know that, you can't help but watch his performance and see it differently.
yeah, yeah, I know, yeah, because a
He
lot
was
of the time he
really
doesn't do a lot.
tortured.
He's not very active in this film, is he?
No,
It's just a lot
not
of it in
really.
bed or sitting down or just sort of hunched round and he is hunched over a lot of the
Hmm.
time I've noticed as well. He's trying to get that heart to beat as well. But anyway, I was talking about Ernest Thesiger.
Oh, yes.
He was asked to play it. Now, as with James Whale, who directed it, he was an openly gay man in Hollywood, which was unheard of in
Yeah.
those days, but he's openly gay. He asked Ernest Thesiger. Now, Ernest Thesiger was married, and I think I'm assuming it was a marriage of convenience.
A lavender marriage.
Yes. Oh, that's a great expression. I've never heard
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
before.
a really old expression,
I've
that.
never heard of that
Lavender
before.
marriage. Have you not know? I think
No.
lavender marriages are going to come back in again if America takes
Ooh.
away any more rights.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Well, he asked Ernest Thesiger to play the character as an over-the-top caricature of a bitchy and aging homosexual. So,
Typecast.
yes. And he's really, really bitchy and
Oh, he's
camp.
so shady the way he comes in and looks,
Yeah. Yeah,
the
I know.
tux and the fluttering of the eyes and the.
And he's very dismissive of Frankenstein's wife.
Oh, he hates women.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's,
Hmm.
it's sort of speak to you alone like that. It's sort of always alone and sort of get out of the room like
I
that.
know. I
Yeah,
would love to see him on RuPaul's Drag Race. He would have been absolutely
it'd be a
fantastic.
perfect guess, wouldn't it?
He would have been absolutely amazing. And judge him as one of the judges. Oh, they would have just cried.
Oh, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Absolutely brilliant. But I just love his performance in it. I think it's amazing, and it's a very very camp film. And I think now sort of like certain sort of film scholars say it's a very queer film.
I
This
think
one,
so. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it's about. Well, I suppose in some ways it's a transitional film, from body parts into the female form,
yeah.
from nothing into something. And then with this, you're not sure whether Optimus Prime definitely he has thoughts maybe about Frankenstein. There is an attractive younger man under his wing, and I just don't know. There's a bit of sexual tension in some
There
ways, and
is
maybe
there
it's
is
just a
some
shade.
yeah, there is something else going on there, isn't there?
Hmm.
Definitely, definitely. But I just think he's got and his little homunculi that
Oh
he's made
yes,
as
those were
well.
really. Ooh, those
Yeah.
are
Now
disturbing.
now there's one cut out. He made one of an infant as well. Now
Oh wow.
um when the camera pans away from it, he's showing Frankenstein all these little bell jars of these little sort of the king and queen and the archbishop and the devil in there as well. Um, when it pans away and you see it from the back, there's another jar there which has got a toddler sitting in a high chair. and that was cut. That was one of the things
That's
they had to cut from the film because it was just a bit too. Oh, that's creepy.
that is actually that would shock an audience now.
It would do. Yeah. Yeah,
Come
it's only very, very brief. You see it when
really?
Frankenstein goes on, he goes to walk away, and you see all the jars lined up,
Uh-huh.
and you just sit on the right hand side. You see this toddler, back of a toddler, sitting in a high chair. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's creepy.
oh, that's really, really nasty.
It is, isn't it? That's
And
really nasty.
he gives that scene a threat. I think that a lot of actors it would have come across as comedy, but with when he does it and he demonstrates his characters, there is threat there. And there's
There is.
also the hint that he is the devil or a demon of some description. Because he says the devil, homunculi, doesn't it look like me? Doesn't look anything like him.
No, it doesn't. No, that's the thing. Yeah, he sees something of himself in
Hmm.
that little thing he's made. I think that's the interesting thing because I think in Frankenstein, the book, because I only found this out, so there's actually two versions.
Is there?
There was one written by Mary Shelley in 1818. Another one I think is in 1831. She basically rewrites it when she's older, and it takes on a more of a religious theme.
She does. Yes, I remember that now. I don't know whether you've been to Bath or not, but there's an exhibition there that's there permanently. It's actually right beside the Jane Austen experience. It's called the Mary Shelley experience,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
brilliant. And it's one of the houses in Bath are quite tall, so it's in one
Yeah.
of these houses, and it's actually got a mock-up of what Frankenstein looked like in the book, which is very close to the new Frankenstein movie that's coming out.
Oh,
Del
okay.
Toro's one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks pretty much the same. So they had this built by some professionals, and it's the laboratory, and it's really quite disturbing. But you go through the floors, and it tells the story of Mary Shelley, how she was an anarchist. Well, not so much an anarchist. She was an atheist, and it's sort of like it was free love, and it was polyamorous, quite
Yeah.
with Shelley and all his harem and things. And it goes through the different floors, and it goes on to say later on how she turns to religion and how
So that
another woman, whether it's her sister, can't remember, there is another woman mentioned, and she becomes religious as well. She becomes a nun. I think she outlasts all of them. She lives in her 80s. But I mean, Mary Shelley's experiences and her life story were so incredibly sad,
yeah.
losing so many children. And there's one room I actually walk into, and it's a baby crying, and it's an empty crib
Oh
that
no.
moves.
Oh,
And when you know
that's
Mary's, what the awful things that had happened to her, it comes across as creepy. But then when you think about it, you think, well, that's poignant. That's just, and you lift little microphones and it talk. You can hear somebody portraying her voice and
yeah.
bits from her book, and it's a very good thing to do actually because I'm back in Bath again next May, and I'm going to take my brother to the Mary Shelley experience.
Yeah.
Definitely worth doing. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, certainly would. Yeah, because I mean,
Hmm.
it's I mean, Frankenstein is a absolute literary classic, and it's a horror classic, as well. So yeah, that's definitely right up my street. That
Yeah.
really is. Yeah.
And I think we were seeing these first. I hadn't. I'm sure I've watched the third one, but it's been a long time ago, so there's nothing really sticks out in my head about it. But
Hmm.
the Universal ones were they stand on their own. The ones that James Whale did stood on their own. Later
Yes.
on, they milked it. They made it ridiculous. And
Yeah, when it's Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, or the Wolfman
yeah,
meets Dracula, and
and all
yeah,
that. And
yeah, they did
Abbott
get a
Costello
bit.
gets involved in just about everything eventually
Yeah,
after a
I know.
while. And
I think they've got their charm. I
yes,
think.
as kids,
Um,
you think they're really funny.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I mean, I used to love Abbott and Costello meet It was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I
Which had
loved
all
all.
the. I
Yeah.
did as well. I couldn't watch it because I find Abbott and Costello's about as funny as a dose of the clap. To be
Hmm.
honest, they're just not.
No,
I don't find them funny at all. They're no Laurel and Hardy, definitely not.
no, that they haven't aged well at all.
No, they haven't. They really haven't. But anyway, but yeah, this is one of the Bride of Frankenstein is one of those classic films of that period. And one of the things I love about this is towards the end where they're bringing the bride to life. Actually, what I was going to say, actually, before I get onto that, in the book, it's never made explicitly clear what the monster is made out of. It's just a procedure. And they kind of bring that into when Pretorius says he's made a brain for a bride. And not like he's got it from a dead body, he's made one.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
across as it's very organic, and you want to know
yeah,
how's he growing this. Has he
Yeah,
taken cells? And I think maybe the modern audience would view that differently than the audience back then, because we've
yeah,
seen so many developments in cloning and cell regeneration and everything that's gone, that the modern scientific progress, that
yeah.
what did he mean back then?
I know exactly. It's never explicitly explained how he did it, but I think that's how Frankenstein made his monster. And I think there's also, and I've seen this. It was a TV movie of Frankenstein, and it's more or less follows the book more or less to the letter. And when the monster asks Frankenstein to make him a mate, he aborts his first experiment. And I always remember he aborts it, and it's just this mush, just because he just makes it of organic matter, and he aborts the like a he's like aborting a baby,
Yeah, was
and
that a
it
TV series?
it was a TV movie. And I
Yeah.
always remember that you saw this mush just sort of sloshes down into the drain, and it's horrible. But that's one of his creations. And again, they try to sort of, because again, that's how it's done in the book. It's not like getting cadavers and body
Hmm.
parts and that kind of thing. So and I'd forgotten about it with Bride of Frankenstein because I thought they just did the usual thing. They got a brain and
Yeah.
different body parts. And obviously, she's made up of different body parts, but the brain itself, Pretorius, grows, and that's really quite advanced for its day, especially in 1818 when it was written as well.
Yeah, considering, like, I mean, Mary Shelley was very young when
Yeah,
she wrote it too.
19 when she wrote
Hmm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Oh,
That's
it's
absolutely amazing.
just it's an amazing creation, and I think it's one of those ones you keep appreciating as time goes on. I mean, I always love vampires. I've actually got a vampire t-shirt on at the moment. It's You can't see it, but it's a Nosferatu one, and it says my
Oh,
first
well,
coffee.
cool.
Going up the stairs, and but there's just something about Frankenstein. I think that the vampires have all the sexy stuff, and
Yeah,
and everything, and they're really great movies. But there's something about Frankenstein, I think, I think the sadness of it, the poignancy of it,
yeah.
it just never goes away.
Nah,
It
that's right.
really
I mean,
it doesn't.
I was going to say sort of like the end where they're bringing her to life, and it's the use of James Woods' use of lighting and everything. Well, it's like on Pretorius's face, and then it goes to Frankenstein, and
Yes,
then backwards and forwards, and it's absolutely amazing, and that's what gives it that gothic
it
atmosphere.
does.
Yeah, because all the sets is all like stone archways, and it's filmed through that, and sort of and people walking off into shadows or people coming out of shadows, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I heard it described as Rembrandt lighting, just the angles of it, that
Yeah,
Rembrandt would have used within his paintings, and they did something very similar. I mean, James Whale was very, very involved in what the sets looked like. He had
yeah.
very definite ideas. I wanted to look like this, and I wanted to that. He maybe didn't build them himself, but Elsa talks about um, James taking her down to one of the sets just to show her, and even
Oh
things
well.
like whenever he goes into the forest the first time when he's on the run, there's the leaves are on the trees, and it's quite evident that it's spring or summer. And then when he
Yeah,
goes and runs away again and comes to the graveyard, the trees are all just like telegraph poles. There's no life on the trees. And it's little subtle things like that that you don't notice. You either hear it in a podcast or a YouTube reel or something, and you think, I need to look at that the next
look
time
at
I'm
it
watching
again.
it.
Yeah.
There's the passage of time that you don't appreciate, because if you watch it on its own, you think that bit in him and the hermit getting high is only a couple of days.
Couple of days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but actually, it must have been months. So it's not a
Yeah.
sudden thing like that. The monster can suddenly speak. He hasn't done his Duolingo course and then suddenly, he's done 16 days of it and he gets so many stars. And well done,
Well done,
Frank.
is it?
You know what I mean? Keep going, and you'll string a whole sentence together. It's obviously been 6 months, whatever length of time it is, which makes me wonder, how does the hermit know how to bake bread
That's true.
and buy wine?
Maybe Paul Hollywood's his neighbour.
I know. Dear help him.
Yeah.
No wonder he's blind. Oh no, maybe that's the other Master Chef boy I'm thinking
Maybe it
of.
might be. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, do you know what, though? You're right about it. It must be a long passage of time, but the film itself is what, hour and 15 minutes?
It feels
That's the.
much longer than that.
It does, but that's all it is, hour and 15. It's a very,
Hmm.
very short film, but they pack so much into it. And as you say, there's so many little details that you might have missed on maybe on first watch. And
Yeah.
as you say, we're talking about, I think, shit, I've got to go back and watch that again now,
Uh-huh.
just to see that.
Yeah, which takes me on. I got excited. But before I forget,
Oh,
my
go, go.
theory.
Oh,
Yes, I
yes,
thought,
yes, your
yes,
theory.
yes,
Yes,
got to talk
yes.
about this. Do you see that there was murders in the village of the Cockneys, not the village of the Dam, but the village of the Cockneys? And the Burgermeister, of course, everybody talks really common, and the Burgermeister, he's all hello,
Hello. Yes,
and
indeed.
treat them
Yes.
all like complete simpletons. And he thinks his cut glass accent is going to save him from everything. But they shout out, they're shouting out, we're so and so, and we're such, and they go into this house, and the man's dead, and then they go up the stairs, and Frau, what's her face, and I can never remember anybody's name, she's dead as well, and then there's some other child that's dead that the school kids find,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, hang on, all this is happening in this village. He's up getting high in the mountains at the moment. Who's doing all this murder? So there's a serial killer in that village at that time.
There is. It's another thing that was cut from the film.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it was Dwight Fry's character. Now, in the first one, he played the Frankenstein he played Igor basically. In this, he plays another similar sort of character who goes out and gets the cadavers and
Yes.
he murders that person to get
Mm-hmm.
that woman to get her heart. It's him.
Yeah, I
He's the one
wondered, was it him?
it's him. He's the one who's committing the murders.
That
But
makes perfect
that
sense.
bit was cut.
Yes, I believe that
Yeah,
now the video that I'd watched it, it said that it would have apparently it just completely ground the film to a halt at that point.
yeah.
But it's never alluded to again,
No,
which
never.
is
It's the villagers
uh-huh.
assume it's the monsters killed these poor unfortunate people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the end of it. But no, it was Dwight Fry's character who was killing other people. Now I don't know if it was to get bits and pieces for Frankenstein and Pretorius, or he just enjoyed doing it.
I think he enjoyed
I
doing it.
think he enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah,
poor
definitely.
monster. Dear help me, he
Yeah.
didn't know all this shit was going down in his name.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing about this. That they're all the people that are chasing him through, the countryside with flaming torches and pitchforks and whatever, and tying him up like Christ as well on the cross at one
Mm-hmm.
point. Um, they're the bad people.
Oh,
They're,
totally.
they're they're the monsters all the
Oh,
way through it. Yeah.
absolutely. They are just. I was going to say they're the MAGA supporters. That doesn't cut out some of your fan base, but they reminded me of people who are ill-educated, and will believe anything.
Yeah.
They
That
just
that mob
grab onto the first
mentality.
monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's exactly that's the thing. We've seen it happen time and time again throughout history, and you would have thought by now we would have sort of, as society grows, we would have come out of that. This
No,
mob mentality. No, we haven't. We
I don't
haven't.
think that. I think we're
No,
going backwards. I think.
we are going. It's I was sort of like it's like a new Puritan age. At one
Yeah.
point, now it's turned into mob mentality again, which is basically what the Puritans were. It was a mob. It was a
Mm-hmm.
religious mob, wasn't it? So
We're
uh,
screwed, Phil.
we're completely fucked, basically, aren't we?
With our base morals,
Yes.
we've no chance at all. Well, certainly I haven't. I know that much.
Well, we both love this movie. Is there another film you could have as sort of like if you were to sit down and watch this because this is going out on Halloween. So if you were to sit down and watch this on Halloween, we're trying to get our listeners and viewers here to watch this film on Halloween. Is there a companion film you'd watch as
Ooh.
well with this?
Well, funny enough, it's not Frank. It's not a Frankenstein related movie though. It would be. It would be Dracula, the Hammer horror ones. I love the Hammer horror movies, and I'm
Yep,
trying to remember. There was the Satanic Rites of Dracula. I remember seeing that as a kid.
yep.
Lots of nudie ladies.
There was, yes.
I'm going, oh my goodness, this is great. And and I thought Christopher Lee was very sexy, but yeah, I would say the Christopher Lee Hammer movies,
Yeah,
the Dracula
the
ones.
Dracula ones. Yes,
Yeah,
that's your
and
yeah.
yeah, definitely. Those would be my companion pieces to that. Even though
Okay.
it's a completely different monster, there's it just takes it to the next level. You've got the psychological thriller and the life story, and the poignancy, and
Yeah.
what happens whenever you look for love, to I'm just going to come in and make you mine no matter what, and just dominate every. There's a okay, so we probably have gone from a love story to BDSM effectively.
Practically have there, really. In one fell swoop, that's it.
I know it can't be anything normal, but yeah, Hammer. I think Hammer was a really valid successor to Universal.
They really were. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a podcast on its own, Hammer.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you know what we'll have to do Hammer.
Yes, that would be so
We'll have
cool.
to do Hammer. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Hammer
Because
movies are just fun, absolutely superb.
yeah, that's another book I've got. It's like the history of Hammer. And yeah, and actually, I can't remember how old I was. I was only like a teenager at the time. I saw it in WH Smith's, and I think I got it for my mum bought it for me or something for my birthday. I said I really want that, you know. So they got it for Christmas or something, and it was all full of the Hammer babes at the end. So it was just the glamour shots of like Caroline Monroe, which was my childhood crush and
Oh
still is to
yes,
this day.
met
You
her
know,
at a show years ago. She's a lovely person.
oh yeah, I'd love to meet Caroline. I really would
Oh,
do.
she's really. She loves the fans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was the she was the woman that made me realise that at a young age which side my bread was buttered on. So,
Yes,
so
I'm not surprised. There was a lot of awakening with the Hammer. I just
oh
came
yes,
away
yeah, yeah.
completely
So,
confused, thinking that's probably normal. I remember the very first Hammer one that I seen. I was staying at my granny's at the time, and there was a gang of kids I got to know in the immediate area.
yeah.
And I remember rapping years ago. This is us really showing our age. Do you remember bread years ago used to come with the little wire that
Yes,
would seal it?
that's
Well, I
right.
was
Yeah.
making those into vampire fangs, so I was even cosplaying back then. Having them all to pretend, having them all making me believe they were vampires with this bread wire hanging from their fangs. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't sleep with the window open for 20 odd years. I wouldn't sleep because I
Wow.
was, even though I wanted to be a vampire, I was still scared in case Dracula came in through the window.
Oh wow. So that's the power of Hammer right
That's the
there.
power of Hammer.
There you
No,
go.
so as you say, it's a completely different podcast, but yeah,
All
Hammer.
right, we're doing Hammer next. We're definitely
Yeah, I
doing
think that
Hammer.
would be really cool.
Yes, excellent. Well, I'm gonna say my companion piece is going to be Young Frankenstein.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
That's a perfect companion.
So that's my one. I think A because of Gene Hackman as the blind hermit is absolutely brilliant, and then the putting on the Ritz
Oh yeah.
musical number in it is just
It's
it's hands down brilliant, and it's such a loving parody of that type of horror film.
oh
It
it
really,
is.
yeah, I think it's great. So that would be my choice of film to watch after I finish watching Bride of Frankenstein.
See, that's the logical one. That's the logical one. My logical one was nudie ladies in Dracula.
I could go for that as well.
I
Do you
say we
know?
do it all.
We do it all, don't we? So, do you know what? I think on that note of nudie ladies and Dracula, I think we'll bring this to a close.
Oh, great fun, Phil. I really
That
enjoyed
was it.
this.
Thank you so much for joining me once again. It's been a long time, Joanne, since you've been on the podcast. So,
Yeah.
you know, always welcome back, and we are definitely doing Hammer next time.
Oh, that would be cool. I really
Excellent.
enjoyed it.